grew up in Heartlines. Heartlines is a township in Cape Town, and it's known to be a township full of gangsterism, drugs, alcohol abuse. And growing up with a single mom, I think the way in which she protected us from being influenced by those things was to not allow us to have friends. So we were literally forced to stay indoors. We were 5 kids, and 3 of us were in high school at the same time. And we literally had to rotate between toilet, kitchen, and front room. I used to study at night through the night because there wasn't just space to study. I remember studying in the toilet, the kitchen. It's funny, I laugh at it sometimes, but if I look back, it was actually very challenging. It was challenging for me. But I'm thankful that I actually did turn to my books and not to drugs or alcohol. I never defined numbers to be a passion. It was just something that I was good at, and it was a scapegoat. Our school didn't have higher grade maths because there wasn't any kids that could really qualify to do it. I think it was just me and maybe 1 or 2 other kids, so I was forced to do standard grade maths in high school. I remember writing my matric exam in half the time and passing with like 90-odd%. It was just too simplistic, I suppose. There was this one girl, she was in the English class, and she had an E average for math standard grade, and she looked for help, and I kind of traded my skill set with her. So I would go and tutor her for maths, and she would feed me. I would sleep there. I think that tutorage or friendship kind of allowed me to actually realize that I need to apply at universities to go and study further. And because of her, I was introduced to a organization called SEEP, and they saw potential in me. Even though I was really just thriving in maths, they paid for my tuition, the books, the toiletries, everything that I needed. When the fund eventually paid out in the first year, I moved to a flat called Napton Bassett in Mowbray. And that, I think, was the start of my journey and my story, actually. Studying at UWC, historically it was defined as a disadvantaged university. It was called the Bush University, I think. There was a lot of people of color where I studied. There's a stigma attached to students coming from UWC that they don't necessarily have the same skill set or at the level that their counterparts at the previously advantaged universities come from. I took a job offered by Standard Bank. That was my first job. In the corporate sector, it was a challenge for me in the sense that I didn't have the confidence in myself to actually know that I can do the work that is asked of me to do. I was longing to do something that's more in line with my studies because I wasn't working in anything statistical, modeling, or mathematics. So when I applied, he actually took a chance to give me a job as a credit risk analyst. I got that job, and what surprised me most was that I was eventually able to build a risk model. And my model was accepted and approved, and it allowed the bank to save about 70 million a month in capital reserve. So that was for me a wow moment to see that I can do something. My husband's always been supportive, and I think the biggest support I found him to be was when I decided to transition out of corporate into academia. And that motivation really stemmed from me having my first child, Claire, and looking at the life and growing through corporate, increasing in my finances, etc. I wasn't really home for the first year of her life, and I thought that moving into academia would kind of change the lifestyle. It's still hard work, but it's just more flexible in my time. And making that transition required me to take a salary cut. I took 1/3 of my salary as a cut, and my husband supported me in doing that, which I'm very, very thankful for to him.
When I think about Rechelle, the first thing that comes to mind is her energy. She's such a positive person, and she's got a determination. She'll never give up. I think she succeeded because of hard work and determination.
In 2012, I registered for my master's, and I didn't know that I was pregnant with Matthew. So I literally had to do the master's with him in my tummy. I've had to make decisions that I think financially negatively affects our family, but family means more to me than money. I think God has always been a factor in my life, and He's always kind of steered me in a direction that led me to an opportunity that opened doors for me. So I think I am out of the lack and the poverty because of God. And if you believe there is a God and that He sent His Son Jesus to die for us, if you believe that, to the world that is foolish, but if you believe it, I'm one of those foolish people that believe it. And I think because of that belief, my life has changed. That's my story. That's what I believe.